Now, as Ryan, Trenton, and Sean grab your attention towards the world of sports, food, and entertainment, and away from the things that are probably more important, we apologize for nothing and anything that may be spoken, learned, or forgotten today. This is the Real Tree Shaker Show.
Welcome to the Real Tree Shakers Show. I am Ryan.
And I am Trenton.
And I'm Sean. We thank you for joining us today as we're about to take you through the messy impact of the MLS in such a short time. Following that, we will be doing the NFL training camp previews. Trenton has disappeared.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be back.
The dust has taken him out. And thirdly, as Trenton joins us back, we will be going over the college football realignment, which won't be taking place until the 2024 season. But we'll have to think how these conferences are still called the Big Ten when there's 18 teams in it. But that's something we'll dive into later. And if you missed our last show, we broke down the NFL Top 100, our top 5 fast food favorite restaurants of all time, Ryan, not just the last 5 years. So
it's not currently all time.
Right. And I mean, I still can't get over Grandy's. I don't know what it is. I probably haven't had it in almost 20 years. Yeah.
Dude,
that's all my list.
I totally forgot to mention Kava Bob. It's like a Freebird style kind of place here.
Oh, Freebirds. I forgot about Freebirds.
It's more of like
what is a Chipotle knockoff too?
Yeah, Chipotle knockoff, man. It's their own thing.
Chipotle is a Freebirds knockoff. Yeah.
Chipotle can kiss my.
I don't know which came first. I don't know what came first.
Chipotle can kiss my anchos. But no, I mean, Chipotle's got some decent food. I can't lie. But I mean, Cabo Bob's, like, if you know what old school Freebirds tasted like back in the day, it's the closest thing you'll get to it. It's the closest thing.
College Station. Best Freebirds I had.
Do y'all get a bowl or a burrito?
Burrito,
but I am not opposed at all. Like Chipotle, I get a bowl. If I'm at Cabo, I'll get a burrito because they have a cheddar burrito or a cheddar tortilla, and it's so fantastic.
Yeah.
But I'm not opposed to getting a bowl ever. Like, not trying to eat carbs and stuff. I'll get my carbs on some queso. You know what I mean? So.
There you go.
And I've never known you to turn down a bowl.
Yeah.
Moving along.
If that's the case.
I wanted to go back real quick to the NFL Top 100, and it's the players that vote on it, right? And like you guys said, they watch a ton of film. Ryan, you mentioned Josh Allen. Will watch his favorite players, and So what if they included the coaches? Like coaches and players vote, because the coaches probably watch more film than anybody,
Yeah. I'd be down with that. I think that'd be great. Get some more input from, people who are involved in the game,
Yeah. Well, and that's, of course, if, the Real Tree Shakers are not picked to do the top 100 next year, but.
True. Hey, I hope we can.
Yeah, like we said, we'll do 150 for the price of 100. Just saying.
Right. I agree.
Just saying. All right. So, as we know, Lionel Messi, not Patrick Ramsey, has joined the MLS. Yes. Joined the MLS instead of going the Saudi route and not listening to Ronaldo take all that money. But since he's been there, guys, 7 goals in 4 matches. 4-0 for Inter Miami. What are your thoughts on the impact that Messi is going to have for his squad and for the MLS going forward?
Trenton, go ahead.
I mean, one already just watched what it's doing the impact for the squad. He clearly makes that team better, and they're meshing really well. I mean, they're feeding him the ball. He's feeding them the ball. So it automatically takes, like, I think Inter Miami is one of the worst teams in MLS right now, record-wise. So they're doing
bottom of the conference.
And then they're playing this Leagues Cup, and they're a whole different team now. So it's. I mean, he's a lot of these soccer players, uh, especially the ones that are not in the U.S. Like we don't, we just we don't. For us, it's not our main sport. It hasn't been for a long time. You go across seas, a lot of those guys, that's their main sport. They start at an early age with a
Right.
soccer ball. It's just something about the skill sets and things for those other guys that are.
Then they're in those academies really early too.
Yeah, it's worldwide the most popular sport by far. It
Absolutely.
outweighs anything what the NFL does, and you don't want to think that, but I mean, you're talking, 200 more countries are playing soccer.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
it's
So I mean, it's gonna, for his team, it's automatically we see it already with the eye test. It's clearly working. As far as the impact
Right.
on MLS, I mean, it's a great thing. Like it goes back to the kids. Kids being able to watch him now, they get a taste of what greatness is. Because I mean, no knock on the American players, but there's not anybody else. I mean, Beckham came over. No one really saw much like that before until he was kind of around. But Messi's up here compared to Beckham, and I mean he's one of the greatest soccer players ever, and it's going to make a huge impact on it overall. Kids, fans, the Latino community or the Latin community. I'm sorry. Uh,
Yeah.
it shows. I mean, he couldn't have signed with a better team, honestly. I mean, I think they said like what Puerto Rico is only like 40 minutes away from Miami, so it's like just that culture that's already down. So just that it's gonna, I mean, it's going to immediately impact everything. So I mean,
Right.
it'd be cool to be able to go see him here in Austin, but it's already hard as it can be to get tickets to an FC game. So
Yeah.
there's a big following
You
for
had
the
him.
squad. So it's like, I mean, just imagine him coming to town. So I did hear that before he signed, he could get a ticket to the Miami game for $40, and then now like
True. Yeah. Talk about, I'm sure the season ticket holders had a great markup on those, I'm sure.
Oh, sure they did.
They're
Yeah. Especially
what a
that first
profit,
game.
right? What a
Especially that
profit you
first
could have
game.
made on that.
But no, I think overall, like, yeah, he's going to have a huge impact. It's gonna filter all the way down. I think it'll filter down with soccer players, whether that are older, his age, younger than him, and then the kiddos and stuff. And hopefully, what it does is it opens a door for more of these players to come over and play in the MLS. So that way, one is we can all be able to watch them play on a more consistent basis. But two, like, hopefully they'll teach some of our players some stuff, and maybe the overall U.S. like soccer nation can get better. Maybe we can learn something from it. And it's not just not just about money all the time, especially for those guys, which a lot of it is. But it's kind of nice to be able to see. It's nice to see him here, and it'd be nice to see a few more players come over, which it sounds like a few more might. So,
Sure.
but I think it's a good impact. I really do, and it's nice to see the response it's getting, and yeah, we'll kind of see how it plays out. But it's a good thing. It's a really good thing.
I agree. I know, like I said, what I was seeing is that so MLS has gained 24 million new followers on social media since Messi came over.
Wow.
It's like 175% jump from where they were at. So, I mean, impact of that, because everything knows that's huge now. That's your marketing right there. They've seen Adidas outsell Nike in apparel, because guess who makes their jerseys? Inter Miami is made by Adidas.
Yep.
So they've surpassed Nike in jersey sales because of that. So just from that, Apple has their MLS season pass. They've had a 75% viewership increase since he's
I am part of that.
75%. Yeah.
Yep.
Huge. That's
Oh,
huge.
absolutely. I mean, you can just feel the impact. Like, he's averaging like 42 minutes a match. So,
he's
which
only
you
playing
don't
about
need
half
him.
the game.
Yeah, which is
So they
what you
need him.
need him. Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I know I was reading an article about how his televised game on I can't remember, one of the Spanish speaking stations.
Univision?
Univision, yeah. 1.75 million.
Lo siento.
Univision.
Para mi español.
1.75 million people watch that. That's like, you got to think, what that's like a dedicated viewership to one language, and they had 1.75 million people watching that game.
That's more than an NBA playoff game will get, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, soccer's huge. I mean, it's a huge thing outside the U.S. And so you start bringing that stuff to the U.S. and we already have a lot of fans here and a lot of people who follow it. I mean, those numbers are going to increase. I think those numbers are. I think the numbers are bigger and better if Ronaldo had come, you wouldn't have seen those numbers. You would have seen some numbers, but you wouldn't have seen those kinds of numbers though. So.
And I think, like T said, the impact is huge. It's gonna create a soccer boom in a way, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I think, that you'll see more people wanting to play, more kids wanting to play it, more people following it, getting into it, just because that's the impact he has on the sport. And it's insane.
And it's a quick, short sport, I mean,
an hour and a half.
An hour and a half, yeah. And then if there's penalty kicks, that means there's drama. So, and at least, and in overtime they let them keep playing. Overtime, extra time, they let them keep playing, even if there's a goal scored. So, but yeah, I think it's awesome. Like that was the first sport I played. I mean, I was almost good as Messi, but I kept tripping on my shoelaces. But anyways, no, I think it's great. The value of Inter Miami before Messi, $600 million. Estimated now 1.3 to 1.5 billion. So just like that,
doubled it.
So right. So just imagine if they could somehow get into that ninth spot, because there's 12 games left in the season and they're 12 points behind the ninth spot. So we'll see if they can get in and make some noise.
That would be nice if they could.
I think it's
keep an eye on, see if they pull off and win this League Cup thing. I mean, they're right there. So I think they're in the quarterfinals, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Automatic impact for that guy, though, not only for the team, but for the for the soccer culture, for U.S. soccer, MLS overall, that's huge. It's a really huge deal. So we'll see whoever else comes over and plays too, because you get another star player similar to him. MLS is already a popular thing, or it's at least growing in popularity. So you add someone like him, and then you add some other pieces. They might have something going on there, because then the soccer gets better too, gets more entertaining. So.
Definitely. Yeah. He is definitely must-see TV.
Maybe we could get Mbappe.
What did they offer him? Like 1.4 billion?
Yeah, billion.
I think he turned
billion.
Well, it's like, what? I think he only got like 775 of that. There's a transfer fee.
Damn.
Yeah, asshole. Good tax rate, I guess, over in Saudi Arabia.
I know. Yeah. It helps. Oil helps.
Must be nice.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is a very
all right, so guys, as we know, tonight officially started the NFL preseason.
Yeah.
Mbappe.
Mbappe.
Like, is that Black Panther?
No, it's Mbappe. It's just in Black Panther tone. So.
Oh, hey, trademark.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes,
football.
Frank. Yes.
Close.
I couldn't watch that first game. I'm sorry. I tried.
Yeah. It's hard. I mean,
they're all rough. Like, I mean, it's I'll watch it as background and kind of stuff, but like I'm not paying much attention to it though. Not until someone's limping. But
Well, I
it's good.
mean, you think it's the first game, and you're like, yes, and
Yeah, no,
big
that's
inning.
why I didn't even watch that Hall of Fame game. I watched it for 5 minutes, and I was like, I am not gonna drag
Same.
myself through this. So it was
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
tough
fun to
now.
see
They
old
got
Bill out there making that face though. You know
who?
that old Bill. You know Belichick. He
Oh
didn't he
yeah,
didn't have that smile. He just had that.
yeah, yeah.
So
On to
He just never
Cincinnati.
smiles.
nope, nope.
I was checking out when he had to. There was a point I think I remember seeing he had to yell at his son, his old defensive coordinator's son.
Do you think it's
So
because of his
I think
haircut?
I think he told him to cut his mullet, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, didn't
Maybe
make his
I don't know.
bed. He didn't make his bed the
Yeah,
Patriot way
yeah.
before
He's a
getting to
brain
work.
that thing.
There you go.
Get a good old
All
French
right.
braid on it.
Okay, so it's preseason.
Yeah.
3 games. Starters usually play a quarter, maybe a series, second. What in training camp? I don't even think you count preseason. I think they should just get away with it. We'll get back to that
Sure.
here in a bit. But what do you think the impact of the joint practices? I like the joint practices, where you're pretty much going to practice against the team you're going to play. You
Sure.
know, there's some restrictions, still can't hit the quarterback, but whatever. But I think the joint practices are way better for players than the preseason.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's that should just be what the preseason is, more or less. If they want to televise it, go for it. But I mean, the owners will never get rid of the preseason games because they make money on them. So, as long as they, as long as they're still owning the teams, which isn't going away anytime soon, then they're gonna have the preseason games. But yeah, I like the joint practices. I mean, it's cool. You still get a little trash talk in there. You still, you get enough action in there where it's, some things, are happening. I probably would definitely not even check those out, honestly. Maybe some highlights from it, but I don't know if I could sit there and watch a practice and a
Well,
bunch of
I'm not
coaches
saying
whistle and
I'm not saying going, but
yeah, yeah. I do think it benefits. It's cool. It is what it is. So
Yeah, it's definitely beneficial. I mean, it's better than practicing against each other kind of thing. It breaks up the monogamy.
sure.
Uh, you're facing somewhat of the starters. I'm sure they're not throwing all cards or showing all cards to each other out there, but you're facing some starters, especially for people who don't have a lot of experience. They can kind of get a little feel of the rhythm, the game speed, and stuff like that. So I think they are good. Preseason, I mean, if you're not gonna play, you know, much of your stars and things like that, I guess the ones they need, then I mean it's just for this it's for the second string and third strings to kind of keep an eye on. For myself, it's like fantasy stuff. And then like also some of the rookies and younger guys that are like who's gonna step up and make the roster. I mean it's not the most exciting thing, but it's nice to have on, hang out with some friends, have it on in the background, you kick it on, but I'm all about them resting their starters and keeping it really simple because of just injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy this day and age now. Uh, non-contact injuries, contact injuries. I mean, you get hit the wrong way and all of a sudden that's a collarbone. So, if going out there and trying to, win the Super Bowl or get, achieve their goals and stuff like that, I think it's best not to play those starters. If
Yeah.
you do, get them out there, get them a little feel for it, and then get them off the field as quick as possible. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I hate
Yeah, I
saying
mean, you
it.
even saw it just with Joe Burrow, just a calf strain,
Well, yeah, I know it's
just on a
practice
practice rollout.
on a rollout. So, yeah, it's just one of those things where I hate saying that preseason isn't important because I think for the younger kiddos and players and stuff, it is or less experienced. Um, but as far as like a fan and watching it, like I'm not. It doesn't pump me up at all. The only thing it does is make me excited that football's coming here in a few weeks. So,
Sure.
but yeah, they
What I
definitely
get up,
need to play it smart.
I get this to build up. There are a couple things I don't mind watching the rookies every once in a while play.
Yeah.
I think seeing where they're gonna play. Like I think Richardson and Indy. I'm curious to see how he does this weekend when they play. I'm curious. He should be the one starting the game, and I'm curious to see how he's gonna carry himself in his first game because high expectations from him. I'm talking more or less from a fantasy sense because he's being drafted as a top 10, 12 quarterback, in fantasy. So
that's
they
crazy.
must be expecting a lot. So
he's a raw Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Probably
I
even
think he has a better
rawer.
arm. He may have a better arm.
And
He may have a
faster.
little stronger arm, and he's a little He's basically like a faster Cam Newton.
That's
where I'd put him at.
Good comp.
So that's what I would say. He's a faster Cam Newton. So and Cam, remember that first year, Cam was pretty damn effective. He had one of his best seasons that very first year. So kind of took the NFL by storm, and I'm curious to see what he does. But it's mainly the rookies. Like T said, you like to see them get in there and get that experience and play their first few games. And I know the coaches have to analyze them in some kind of real game environment. So that's the closest they're going to get. So
that's true. You don't want to not play those guys and just throw them into a first game of the year without any kind of experience or feel of the game and stuff. But I think a lot of those upper schools, college schools, the Bamas, even the Florida, they play a tough schedule and stuff. So these guys have an idea of the pressure and how to conduct the game, but they don't know what the speed of it is because it's a different level.
Yeah.
So for them to figure that out, they need to try to have as much experience as possible or practice out there as possible. But again, if you're the Colts, it's like we need to play Richardson a little bit, but we need to get him out of there because if he gets hurt, then who? So it's like if he's gonna get hurt, at least get him hurt in the regular season when it matters. But it's a tough thing.
At least get him hurt during a real game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, you say like the colleges are running, the big time schools are running a pro offense and defense anyways.
Feel like it.
It's not like a lot of them are new. I think a lot of them, like you said, it's the speed. They don't realize this linebacker is running faster than their running back did in college.
Exactly.
Right.
That's coming to tackle him, and they don't realize, oh, I forgot about Bosa there. He's a little fast. Or I forgot about Parsons. He's kind of fast. I
see it on TV, but it's probably faster in person.
Not real game life.
Well, plus think about C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, like you guys said, big 5-star programs where they're playing with a 5-star left tackle, a 5-star left guard. C.J. Stroud's wide receiving core the last 3 years he was there.
Yeah, look at all.
They're all in the NFL, and the best one is yet to come in Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, exactly.
So you go from having all that talent, and especially like with Ohio State, with just Michigan, basically your main competition, unless out of conference play. So your Stroud is going from a level 10 to probably a level 2 talent level, maybe level 3, and having to be the guy, not having to just not screw it up and just get it to the other guys. So, yeah, I think the rookies have to play just to adapt to, like T said, the speed of the game. It's just so fast, and it's just like you can tell just watching on TV the difference. But the guys are bigger, stronger, faster, smarter. That's why they're there, So I think you have to play all the time for the rookies.
I agree.
Then pray no major injuries, no more injury training camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
all right, so T. Oh, go ahead, Ron.
No, go for it. Go for it.
Oh,
I was just going to follow up and say I do agree with you completely on that.
Oh, well, thank you. Okay. All right. So, someone like the Commanders or whatever we call them, soon to be Redskins,
The W's,
newly owned football team.
which doesn't stand for wins.
Maybe they could put that on the jersey. Who knows? So, do you want Sam Howell playing in the games?
In the preseason games?
Yes.
Maybe a series.
He's getting all the first team reps in practice.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe a series. Just to kind of get the feet wet, get everything, all the juices and stuff kind of flowing. Yeah, that's fine, but I'd be cautious to the win because I don't even know who our backup is. Oh yeah,
Jacoby Brissett.
Right there. It's
good backup.
It's like, if Sal's gonna play, if Hal's gonna play, yeah, maybe like I said, a series. Maybe the last game, last preseason game, maybe play like a quarter. I don't want to go as far as a half. I would be careful. I would just be careful, and I'd say yes, let him play a little bit, but he got regular season action last year, so he kind of already has a taste of it. So I'd say let him be, let old Brissett do what he can, and see what else we have behind him too. If they're planning on Hal being the starter, I wouldn't go and roll the dice too much. Not yet. I just wouldn't.
So Sam Howell is your future.
He's right now. He is.
So immediate future.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Well, I'm sure we'll try to figure out something for next year with all those quarterbacks coming out. So. Right now, I don't think Hal's a terrible quarterback. I will take him over Carson Wentz any day of the week. I don't care. Carson Wentz ain't got no legs like Lieutenant Dan, and
he already has the Redskins practice jersey.
He's already has it.
Yeah.
Well, he can go retire that with the rest of the ones he has too.
Right.
So, I just don't. I'm not a fan of him. When he first came out, he was, it was pretty shocking. But he just makes really bad decisions, and those are like when you've gone as far or have maybe as much experience as him, like he just can't be doing that, man. Especially in red zone. So, like Washington's already rough as is, and we don't need any help on that end. Like let the kid play. We'll see what happens. Brissett has to come in. I still will take Brissett over Wentz. So just not a fan.
That's a good backup. He's one of the best backups.
A great backup.
Yeah.
Good backup.
Yeah, he's definitely.
I think the Skins will actually surprise people this year. I think they'll get some wins when they shouldn't, and probably lose some games when they shouldn't either. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if they fight for a wild card spot. So
is Riverboat Ron on the hot seat or no?
I don't think so, because I'm kind of curious who else outside of the enemy that you would just move into that position. Like
if they go 8-9.
Nah, because again, like what all do we? What is that a Super Bowl contending team right now? Like I don't think so. I don't even think it's a playoff.
That's what you picked
I don't think Sean thought the Giants were a playoff contending team last year.
Oh.
And they got coached up.
Not even no.
They got coached up.
I was praying for like 6 wins. Yeah.
And this is Ron Rivera's 4th season.
He's taking them to playoffs.
Defensive coach. Defensive coach.
One of them won a division with losing record. Take him any way you get him.
True.
You did pick the Commies to go 8-9, by the way.
Yeah, you did predict them to go 8-9.
Yeah.
So that's why I was asking.
Me and Ryan had them at 7-10.
Yeah, I can see them competing for a playoff spot. I don't think they're going to be terrible. There's a lot of talent there, but much like we talked about earlier about Chase Young, is he going to stay healthy? And then what other injuries do you have? And then who steps up? Because the defense, especially on the corners, I mean, it's been rough for a while. I mean, they get up 17-0 on a team, and all of a sudden they give up that lead real quick. So I just we'll see. But I mean, I
At
think
least you have a good
they have
backup plan and be enemy there.
yeah.
I mean,
We got a good
if
young running
Riverboat
back. We have
Ron's
a young
gone, you can
quarter.
just say, "Oh, there you go. You're the
I
head
mean,
coach now." So
possibly. I mean, he might overall just retire too. Maybe that's something that's in the works. I don't know. But I mean, I wouldn't say he's on the hot seat yet. I can't say that right
but
now. No. Because
I
who
think
else?
he is.
You think so?
Yep.
If he
I think
is,
that's the reason they brought in the enemy. Because they said, "Hey, if Riverboat Ron, doesn't point us in the right direction, we got our backup head coach right here."
well, I agree with you on that, mainly because of the new ownership and like them trying
Yeah.
to not rebrand themselves necessarily, but kind of come and do that. So yeah, I could see that. You know what I mean? Like I could see like Rivera being there, maybe like paving a path, and then letting Bieniemy
Right.
come in and do that. I don't know if I'd call him on the hot seat right now. I'd say he's on the watch seat. You know what I mean? Like keep an eye out because if they go out there and they lose their first 4 games, what they have a really good chance of doing, I'd say that's a pretty warm seat right there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I say
I agree.
get it through about 6 games and see what's up because you'll know real quick what you have after 6 games, especially with that schedule.
Yeah.
So, yeah. How about you? What do you think of the Bucks?
I mean, I get it. They're doing the 1A, 1B, Baker and Kyle Trask. I mean, I just, I'm not ready to get baked. So,
One A, one
so
B.
yeah, what really is more like one Y and one Z. So, they're they're not the answer. I
Man.
I just feel like they're just like, let's just get through. But Bowles is gonna get fired after this year or in the middle
Now,
of it.
see, I
One
think
or the
that's a
other.
hot seat. So
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
think that's a.
But he's only in his
I don't
second
think
year,
Rivera's.
right?
I don't think Rivera's
He's
butt
only
cheeks
in
are
his
anywhere
second
close to
year.
being as warm as Bowles. So I can say that. I do not think so.
So,
Well, I mean,
Rivera's record with the Skins is 22-27. So there
Yeah,
you go.
I don't think you're wrong about the hot seat part. I just don't think the temperature's not turned up quite yet. But again,
So
we'll see how the start of the season works. And
he just
it'll
left the
get there.
toilet seat
yeah.
up.
but yes, I do think Bowles is, like you were saying, he's definitely on the hot seat. It's not a good thing for him, and it sucks because we have the receiver talent, and Evans and Godwin is just going to be wasted with Baker. Now maybe Trask, I don't know, surprises me. I don't really see it in him because I always feel like if he's so good as a backup, why didn't he ever play? I get it, Tom Brady was there, but wouldn't you put him in at some point to see what you got when a game's a blowout or something? Or just, I don't get that. I don't get how backups never play. If they're so great and you're going to keep them and they never play, so what's it matter, Like, if they are great, you're going to play them at some point, or if you believe in them, you're going to play them. So I don't know that either is the answer, and I'm not looking forward to it. I think they could surprise some people. I still think they have talent on the defensive side, so we'll see
Yeah.
how that works out.
Great linebackers.
And I mean their division is not exactly the strongest. Unlike your comics division is pretty damn good, man. So it's gonna be hard. Giants division, I mean, y'all's NFC East is the
Yeah, you said
finest
it right.
division
Giants
in
division.
football. Oh,
Oh
there
yeah.
you go.
Yeah. We can't seem to beat the Cowboys or the Eagles, but we do well
Yeah,
against the commies.
true.
That's
You at
very
least
true.
beat the Vikings, so there you go.
Yeah,
But
I think you're right though. I think there's talent on the Bucks team, and I think like Baker, Baker can get the job done. I think again a lot of this stuff comes from just balance. Like, can the
sure,
Bucks run the football? Will that take a lot of those those plays where Baker has to go try to make something happen and then turn the ball over, because they were talking a lot about. I saw them talking a lot about that today.
Yeah.
But I can tell you advice from going from well, my team hasn't won the Super Bowl anytime soon, but going from a decent team and having a poor one for a little bit, just make sure you have no expectations, so that way when they do win, you can just laugh.
Oh yeah. It sucks. It sucks. I definitely, having Brady, you get kind of spoiled, obviously. So, you come to expect it, and winning one,
But what happens if they
years
do
back was
okay?
great.
Like, what happens if they do make a playoff run kind of thing or something? Like, then you get then you're actually you had no expectations and you're kind of stoked. You're like, okay, well, let's see what happens.
True.
I mean, look what Baker did with Sean McVay. Not much. And then now he's going to the Bucks and
a couple of games though, so we'll see.
A worse coach offense,
Right, and then Baker leads the league in interceptions since he got drafted number 1.
Yeah,
sure.
So he is what he is.
Nah, I understand. I feel you. Right.
Tank for Caleb. Tank for Caleb. Tank for Caleb. That's
Tank for Caleb. Job. Come on, that's the Cardinals' job.
I mean, this is you might see 3-4 teams tanking. So
yeah,
that's what sucks though, is that the Bucks have talent in other areas. They're weak in some of the key positions.
Okay, Ryan. So say you guys get off to a horrible start.
Yeah.
Are you trading away Evans, Godwin?
Yeah.
Everybody at the deadline?
Yep.
Yeah.
Got to get the picks, and it's time to start over.
That sucks.
You have to at that point. Evans, I love the guy. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Bucks Ring of Honor. He's the greatest receiver we've ever had there by far.
Ooh.
But,
that's not going to tell you about
gotta. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, what can you say? 10 straight years of 1,000 receiving yards, and
that's awesome.
I mean, it's awesome. It's never been done. So I don't know how. I think if you're 1-5, if you're say 2-8 or something like that, you gotta look at the future and just think, man, it's time to start over. I hate to say it, but time to trade your veterans, keep some of your younger guys. I wouldn't mind if they kept Vita Vea. I know Devin White obviously all of a sudden wants out of there because he wants Michael Parsons' money, and he's not Michael Parsons. So
no.
But it would just be time to start over. Unfortunately,
every team goes through it.
Go through the rebuild.
Yep.
So
tank for Caleb.
How about your Giants? Do you want to see Daniel Jones play in the preseason?
Yes and no. I think he needs to, because I think he needs to get out there with Waller, and Hyatt, which that kid's gonna have a good year. He's gonna surprise some people. No homer, but no. A few series. I don't want Saquon on the field at all.
Yeah.
Saquon. Yeah. So the offensive linemen, a few plays, nothing major. But they need to play to get some kind of chemistry going. So Daniel Jones could get the line checks, the reads and all that stuff. And then I don't know. I just pray for no injuries, because that you just build, because everybody's got a chance come week 1, and then if you get a major injury in training camp, it's just deflates your season.
Yep.
That's why when I did the Joe Burrow, when he pulled up, you instantly thought, ACL or Achilles.
Yeah.
So
that would suck.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking, that's for sure.
So you're into playing Tyrod Taylor pretty much for the majority of the preseason, and who's the backup? Breida? No,
yeah.
Who is it?
Yeah, Breida's backup.
Matt Breida.
Yep, and
I'm
then like
sure
Gary
he likes
Brightwell.
playing there. Yeah.
So no, I don't know. It's just like I don't think they should have the preseason games, but like you guys said, it's money. But I think the owners would make more money if it was a regular season game. You know, maybe you
Well,
add
they're
2 more regular season
yeah.
games, or maybe another playoff team. I mean, because college, they don't do anything. They don't inter squad practice. They don't. They just have spring ball,
Spring
and then
ball.
they jump right into the regular season. Yeah, they might
They
be
have started
playing.
doing some of the practices though against other teams. I do know they have done that when the former coach, they'll invite another team down to practice with for a week or two before the season starts. I have seen Michigan do that. So, but I know there's a lot of restrictions on that too. So they
Right,
can't.
and they only get like 17 hours a week, I think, practice
Yeah.
time. You know, so and then
Yeah.
they jump in, but yeah, they might be playing Levi Jeans University week 1, but
Right.
at least they're jumping straight in. You know,
Sure.
so
Sure. Sure. What's up with the Giants signing like 36 wide receivers too?
Why did Richie James go to the Chiefs?
I know I didn't like that. That's a good pickup.
Why did they lose him?
Yeah, I
Like
didn't
just
Just
on a 1 year
money,
deal or what?
money.
I had no
Well,
idea.
Sterling Shepard coming back, and Darius Slayton had a really good year. He
How
has a
many
good
weeks do you
rapport.
give till Shepard is hurt?
Ah, man, I would love for Shep to play a full year. That dude, I like him.
Yeah.
Maybe week 8 because maybe he's on the pup list until week 6,
Right.
so he makes it that far.
True.
But
Leaked out that old Cole Beasley.
yeah, okay. I got a 32 belly option on one.
Receiver room. I'm like, man, when are y'all gonna start cutting guys?
Well,
Like,
at least thank God Kenny Galladay is not there.
true.
Anyways, but no,
So
I think it's good because the Giants went through tons of injuries last year. Isaiah Hodgins,
Yeah, he
kid
did
played
great.
with a broken
Hodgins, yeah,
ankle and had 8
yeah.
catches in the playoff game. So I mean, it's just I think you're trying to see if Daniel Jones is the answer, even though you gave him that big contract. But you got to give him weapons, and this is the best set of weapons he's had since he's been there.
Maybe they get a Mike Evans or a Chris Godwin.
They could. I mean,
I don't know that they really have a number one receiver, an elite guy.
no,
I don't know
but
that any of those
you have a
guys are elite.
superstar in Saquon Barkley who can go to the house in one move, and Darren Waller, if he stays healthy, is going to open some things up. And like I said, the kid Jalen Hyatt, the kid out of Tennessee, is going to have a
like
big
that
year.
kid, huh?
Yeah.
Top of the Hyatt.
Jalen Hyatt.
Damn. Yeah.
One of the draft
Patrick
picks.
Hyatt.
He's pretty good, yeah. Patrick Hyatt. Yeah. I'm just happy that football's back, and I wish they would. The preseason should be 2 games and 18-game regular season. I think is what the NFL should do. If they want to monetize it, okay. Yeah, they say we don't want to play more games, player safety, player health. But hey, you're getting paid, bro. You're getting paid now. Look at the money they're giving these guys. So, they're paying some, not top 100 safety, $20 million a year. So, come on. I mean, I don't know when the last time I said, "Ooh, we got that safety. We're winning the Super Bowl now for sure." So you don't want to play 2 games? Come on, play it.
Right, like Seattle when they got Jamal Adams.
Yeah. Well, at the time you thought it was great, but dude can't stay healthy.
Well, Derwin James is the best safety in football.
Probably.
My goodness, man, you guys got a lot of receivers.
Yeah. Yeah, you're looking at the depth chart, I know.
Hey, mejor que nada.
I mean,
right.
Which is what we had last year.
Jameson Crowder on this thing too. Paris Campbell, Bryce Wheaton. I don't know who Bryce Wheaton is. Is he a rookie?
I don't either. But no, Paris Campbell will have a good year too.
The
But yeah,
coaches
losing.
probably don't know who he is either.
Wandale.
No, he's got the name on his helmet, the tape on his helmet with his name on it.
Nice.
Hey, you.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, you remember when Hard Knocks used to do that? I was like, oh, that's the guy getting cut. They don't know your name, so bye.
It's messed up.
Okuna.
Man, it's
It's like
true. You would see that, and I was like, oh man, that guy's gonna get cut. They don't even know his name.
we're gonna cut him because I can't say his name. Can't cuss him out right.
All right.
Plus, he cries when I yell at him.
That's true. That's true.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
man.
2024.
Yeah.
We bring on the college football realignment. It'll be, I guess, why don't we just have 2 super conferences and then just have a 64 team?
Four super conferences.
4 super conferences. All day. Bring more teams into the playoffs like they're trying to do.
And my idea has always been do like college basketball, 64 team tournament. You play eight games in your conference. That's it. 8 games. Then you go right into those playoffs. So, you could potentially play 13 games for the season. Done. There you go.
What's their schedule now?
I would like to see that.
That's good. I mean, and why not? I mean,
who wouldn't want to see Austin P versus Alabama? No, but then you have each area has their, how they say, oh, we make money from the Sugar Bowl, from the Rose Bowl, all the money they make. Well, you have like your Elite Eight or your Sweet 16 in those, stadiums.
Like the Rose Bowl and the Orange Bowl.
Yeah, the Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, all that, So that's just my idea to throw it out. But
honey.
Everyone always flashes at me. So
I mean, it's just these conferences are overloaded anyways.
Sure. I was gonna say I did notice that the Big 12, there was one move I did see that the Big 12 did add BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and Central Florida. So the Big 12 is going to have 14 teams this season, I believe, if I'm correct with that.
Are they going to switch to the Big 14 then?
No. Well, the Big 10 has 14 teams, and they're still the Big 10. So.
Oh, the Big 10's going to have 18.
Yeah, they will after, next year.
Yeah.
18 teams. So.
I feel like they're coming with a different. Well, I don't know, maybe not, but they got. It don't make any sense to be calling a Big 10 to get 18 teams in there.
Yeah. What do y'all think is the biggest realignment move?
The Big 10.
The Big 10. I agree.
SEC getting what? Texas, Oklahoma?
Texas and Oklahoma. It's pretty big.
I think the
Big 10's the biggest one. Crazy.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like, the Big 10 is going to dominate the whole day of college football. All day Saturday.
They're going to have noon, 3 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Right. So you can watch, if you're a diehard Big 10 fan, you can watch them from noon until 1 a.m. every Saturday.
You don't have to be a diehard fan to watch that. This is good. It should be good, solid football all day long. So
that's true.
Right. So they'll keep like a USC on the coast when like a Penn State or Ohio State or Michigan goes to Oregon. That'd be a great late night.
Yeah.
I don't know. So like you guys said, 4 power conferences, 64 team tournament.
That's me, but
64 is a lot, but I think if you drop that to 32 or you did something similar, because you think of they got the top 25, so if you did 32 teams, I mean, you're only adding 7 that a lot of those other teams probably qualify for number 25 at times. So there's a whole little mix-up. So they always have that argument of, oh, we should have gotten in there and stuff. So, I mean, 32 wouldn't be a bad idea. But I'm also not opposed to what Ryan's saying.
Yeah, how many bowl games are there now? There's over 30.
something. So it's like
60-something teams
could
playing
do
a bowl
something with
game
that.
now. So
You can do something with that too. So all the bowls will still have their contracts.
yeah, you could still have the sponsorship. Each game could still have that sponsorship from that.
I think the only
Sure, and then you rotate it each
Yeah.
year, so some of them could actually get like 2 or 3 of the
Sure.
games.
Exactly.
Sure.
And then I think the I guess like the weird part about it is like I just lost my train of thought. What did I say? Yeah, well, I don't know what else. I don't know what. It was something. It was something to do with the bowl games, but I was gonna say that Ryan said, do 8 games and then start that tournament. The only downside to that is if you lose after 8 games, like your season's over. So some fans will be a little disappointed in that, I would think. So that's where the 32 would come into play, but because you
Or
can
just
get
have like the NIT.
well,
Have
yeah,
like a mini tournament like the NIT.
you can do something like that too, I guess. But I don't know what the answer is. But it's going to be interesting. I think that what was it? The Missouri football coach did a interview on this stuff, and my buddy showed it to me. Shout out to old Barefoot Ben. That was a great interview he did. Like he said, like to keep it kind of short, he said football is always going to be around. It's always going to do its thing. But when everyone started to think about this, they think about the people who actually like the kids, like the students. And so he brought up the fact that like Central Florida has to come and travel to Texas, play a game or whatever, turn around, get right back on a flight, come back home, which is however long it may be, and they're going to be missing an hour. Then get home at 3 or 4 in the morning, then turn around and be expected to be in class at 8. So it's like a lot of these, you got these, you'll have USC and company traveling all the way to, say, the West Coast, which happens. I'm sorry, West Coast to East Coast, which does happen during the season, but now it's going to be a lot more of that. So if you have a chance, like look up the Missouri football coach like interview or whatever. It was pretty interesting to hear what he had to say.
But are they really there for school? Let's be honest. So why doesn't he donate half his salary to the school? What he's making. Why don't you donate it to an education department? Because who cares? It's all about sports at these colleges like that.
So,
let's be honest.
He wasn't saying the education part. He's saying about the travel and stuff where they don't have the time and the rest to like reset their mental stuff. So that's what he was getting at. He didn't say anything about the education stuff. Same. I get it though. It's all about money. Like the NCAA wants their money, and these other things they want to be paid a certain amount, but at the same time they don't want the kids.
They're paying the college players now. It's not like they can't make money.
Exactly.
They can now too.
But they don't want those kids to make the money. So it's like it's a mess, man. Like it sucks that it's all about money because I guess that's what it's really all about anyways, but it's just silly. And so it just makes it where it's a total mess now. I used to enjoy all the conferences. Like, it's kind of fun. Like I said, you can watch like FS1 or something. You catch like a Boise State game, late at night and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff's going to be all taken away now. So just be on, main networks and stuff. So I don't know. Is it going to be a good thing? I think for some schools, yes. But it's going to. They're never going to have a solution until they satisfy everyone, and they're just not going to be able to do that. So, I hope Texas is ready. They think they can compete in that SEC. We'll find out.
Speaking of hot seat.
Exactly.
I think. Exactly. Texas is loaded. They should do good, but I don't know. They just seem to always fall short. Like ever since Vince Young, it's like first couple games of the year, it's games that they should win, and it's just like, oh, here we go again. And then they get going good, and then I don't know, but I think Sark should watch out.
You think he's on the hot seat? I don't know. He's got the talent. I don't think they would ruin that going into a new. I don't think they would fire him and then have a new coach take him into that SEC from the beginning. So I don't know.
We'll see.
He's done some recruiting.
He's
done some good recruiting.
Well, he had the best player in college football last year, and
Yeah. Who?
Bijan.
Yeah. Would you say he was the best? I don't know. Maybe the best pro prospect
The
this
best
year.
undervalued running back
Sure.
in college football.
I don't know. I definitely think he's on the hot seat. But at the same time, though, like if you're not winning national championships here, you're always on the hot seat. That's how these people are, man.
Well, he has a better record than Riverboat Ron, and you didn't think he was on the hot seat.
That's fair and all.
The commies don't have their own network.
Exactly.
True.
It's a different I'm telling people here in town, especially here in town, they love their Longhorns so much that they're blind, so they don't understand when they're not that good, or maybe they're not that good. So they have their expectations set way up here, and then they always get let down from it. So instead of just knowing we're not that good, so let's kind of see how it all plays out. It ain't nothing but just a bunch of people talking mess and doing everything else, and so all that does is it filters down from the alumni to the athletic director and everything else. So they fired what's his nuts a couple years back after one season, I think, or 2 seasons, and it's like,
oh, the head coach they recruited from Houston.
Yeah, and so it's just like, well, I don't know. I've already heard a lot of people being displeased with Sark already. So I would say he's more on the hot seat than Hot Rod is. But again, we'll see. Like they open up against Arizona, the commies lose that game, they will go 0-4 to start the season. There's no doubt. So we'll see.
Well, Tom Herman.
Tom Herman
was the name I was thinking of. Yeah.
So it's a different animal with that school, and they want to win now. They are a win now thing. They do not want to rebuild. They don't want to go get recruits and wait on them. They want to win now. And trust me, being in the service industry around here, you hear it. You definitely hear it. But we'll see, though.
Crazy.
I think that's a good thing for a lot of these smaller schools, but it's creating a nightmare, and I don't know what the answer is to it. So I don't know if it's like if they need to come up with their own like red zone kind of deal or someone to do that to be able to keep everything. I don't know. I do.
Well, ESPN has that the college football. Is it called Goal Line or what's it called? I believe. Yeah, they do have it where they go into games when a team's about to score. Same thing as red zone. So, but it's hard now because college football goes from 11 to 1 a.m. 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. It's a 10-hour, or it's so long.
They're gonna have to try to do something though. I mean, again, you're not gonna be able to please everyone, but
sure,
what are they? Like, what's their answer now? That's the question I want to ask. What are they gonna do now? So we'll see.
Yeah,
we will see.
Tough choices. I think you see a lot of times. Like, what I want to know is speaking of the alignment, the realignment. What's the Pac-12 gonna do next year? What are they gonna be next year? There's 12 teams this season, and they have 8 schools leaving next year.
Yeah, they're down.
They're going to be 4. They're going to have 4 teams left. So I mean, they're not hanging around. So, what's going to happen? I don't know. They're going to go somewhere, I guess. So
they have to. I mean, Stanford's a great school. They're always competitive at everything. They haven't been relevant in football, but and then Washington State, Oregon State, Cal. You figure they might get, I don't know, Big 12.
And Cal and someone else is trying to hop over to the ACC. And it's like that right there,
it's retarded.
That's
excuse
crazy.
Me. I didn't mean to say that.
You're really gonna go play Boston College on 10 o'clock on a Saturday, and then turn around and come back home for 4 or 5 days and turn and go play whoever, Florida State or something over there. So I don't know. To me, that's nuts. I'm trying to. It just it's kind of taken away the fun of college football, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know.
All right,
I love watching college football, but if it's going to come down to this, money driven, which it should be. I mean, some of those kids should be taken care of. I mean, they're professional athletes more or less, but like, I don't know. Just take some of the fun out of it. Take
All
some
right,
of the
Notre
raw.
Dame.
Take some of the rawness.
Where do they go?
Take some of the rawness out.
Notre Dame, who cares? As long as they lose, I don't care.
Well, I didn't say that didn't matter. I just wanted to know where they would go and lose.
I don't know.
Go to
They don't have to go anywhere because they got that contract with NBC. So.
Notre Dame versus Liverpool.
There you go. I don't know, man. I mean, join a conference, be a man. Like, do something. Be part of a conference. Go man up and be part of a conference. Hell, I would take him in the Big Ten. Screw it.
Yeah, because we don't play him anymore. Michigan doesn't play him anymore. So, yeah that would be nice.
Here, so put him in there.
I like them there too. Why not? I mean, the school's right up there in that area. It makes all the sense in the world. So
I think eventually what'll happen in the next few years, you'll see somebody step up and say we've got to realign them due to geographical areas at some point. I think that's gonna have to happen. At some point someone's gonna say, look, I get it. It is money driven, like T said, but it's got to be. You have to just think, like you said, those teams from the West Coast playing on the East Coast. That's ridiculous.
I think you're right. I think so. I mean, some of these teams might jump over to a different conference, and then someone else steps up, and they all kind of put the pieces back together. You kind of see that happening too. So.
Yeah, they'll put some rules and regulations in place that'll change things. I think at some point.
Then all of a sudden everyone's going back to the Pac-12 because of the traveling and all that. I can really hear it. So it's just like, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, just take some of the fun and the roundness out of college football because that's part of it. Sometimes it's like you don't necessarily want to see perfection. You just want to watch. You just want to watch. You just want to watch stuff happen. Angelo State, like it'd be nice, like it's just rawness. When you get to the NFL as a professional football player, you don't want to see all that, willy-nilly kind of stuff. So I don't know.
I agree.
I think it's kind of I think it's a good thing, like I said, for some of those schools. But I think overall it messes up the entire sport. So.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
What do I know? I'm just a somewhat normal guy.
All right.
Yep.
We all three are,
That's right.
Simon. See.
Somewhat normal.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting because I bet they won't do any more realignment until after the playoff contract, I guess, is up.
Yeah, that's
for when they expand
next year, right?
Yeah.
So the 12 is it 8? No, is it 8 or 12?
I think it's 12.
12. Okay.
I think. Don't quote me.
12's not a bad number either. I like that. I like that they expanded it. And they could utilize the bowl games and different ones. They could do all that stuff. I don't really know all the ins and outs outside just simply TV coverage and their contracts with that. So
it's
really
12.
And it's so funny too.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
They talk about TV contracts, but like there's a Big Ten network. There's a Longhorn network, like there's an ACC network. So it's like these games get showed. I just don't know if it's like across like certain areas, right? Certain viewing.
So
the Big Ten is going to need.
So when Texas goes next year to the SEC, they have an SEC network. Is that going to interfere? Or are they going to lose that? What's going to happen with that? I wonder.
I don't know. It's already been a mess.
You're going to have a lot of schools in the SEC saying, "Why do they have their own network?" This is the SEC network. So, are you going to play a Longhorn game on the SEC
and see,
channel?
That's the thing. So if they do play the Longhorn game on the SEC thing, will they black out that game so it can be on the Longhorn network? So
I don't know. I don't know.
This guy, it's either it's just gonna do one of those stir the pot things, you know what I mean? And I don't know. I mean, part of it's kind of like let's be interested to see what happens, but also I think there's a lot of it's wasted air, wasted breath. So we'll see though.
True.
Yes, as most of colleges, right? But anyways, for another day. Well, guys, I think that's about a wrap for this episode. Thanks everybody for listening. Yeah, you like my max headroom there?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I didn't.
For chicken.
All right, please make sure to follow us on all the social media things. Ryan's been doing a great job getting us out onto all those platforms, right? Is that what they're called? Platforms?
Yeah. Social media platforms. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Just search Real Tree Shakers. You will find us, I promise. We were one in a million.
Is it Twitter? Or what's the deal with the X?
Oh, sorry. X now.
Yeah.
It is X.
Sorry,
I got to get used to that.
I don't get it.
Formerly known as Twitter, now X. So
all you have to do is simply just subscribe and follow us. You don't even have to listen to the episode. You'll be just fine. If you need some good sleep,
no, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yes, because
we would love you to listen to us.
Absolutely, they have to listen because at the end, we want your comments on what you like, what you don't, what you want to hear from us. And we put the polls. We've got the new polls. Yeah. So look out for the top 5 fast food. Well, I guess for this episode, we'll do something different. Where will Notre Dame play? I don't know. We'll figure out that poll.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
But anyways, thanks for listening. This has been the Real Tree Shaker Show. We'll see you next time. Peace out.
Thank you. Peace.